And so we're headed towards the top of the hour. And as promised, the homie A Ward will be joining us shortly. He might be running a few minutes behind knowing him, but we're going to see. Matter of fact, it's on me. I need to send him the link. So let me go ahead and send him the link. Yo, for those who are watching live, thank you. Please share the broadcast. Please like the broadcast. The more you share, the more people who are tuned into the show. Shout out to those in the comments section. Shout out to my homie Jesse. He was the one that brought up the comment about Drummond. Shout out to the homie Tavita, who is a Hornets fan. He says Hornets by 10 tonight. He says Fields to Carolina. Okay. He's claiming that. Shout out Jesse. Danny, he said that you were a great guest. This is what we try to do on the show, right? We're trying to level up. He talked about back when me and Danny first connected, we were on phone lines doing radio. Now we're here digitally doing things in person. And so, like I said, hopefully we can continue to level up and do good things. And so he's covered the NFL. He's covered the NBA, and he's a really good dude. And like I said, been rocking with him since the Orlando days. So again, Beyond the Buzzer Radio's live on Thursday nights, and he will be live tonight after the Hornets game. Please support that brother. Support good people doing good things. Also, if you're in the comment section on my Facebook Live, make sure you click the video directly so that I can see your comment and get it on the screen. So give me just a second, y'all. I'm going to get this invite to A Ward so he can actually get in on the show. And if he's ready, then we are going to get it popping with we're going to be talking some battle rap tonight. Fade 3 went down this weekend. John the Don versus Ace Amin was the main event. We'll be talking that. We'll be talking obviously the NCAA tournament. We're going to give an update on our bracket challenge that went down, that has gone down. We're at the halfway point now. So we're going to have an update on that as well. So that's what's coming up next on the show. We might get into some other things. I know he's going to have some, what's the word I'm looking for? He's going to have some cards that he's going to go top tier ward. Go follow that on Instagram, where he is going to be showing you the best cards and best pulls that he gets from his selection of trading cards. And we're going to have a good time, y'all. So give me just a second here. Let's see if we can get this thing popping. While you're waiting, if you want to jump in the comment section, man, and just what have you learned this week? What have you learned from watching the NCAA tournament, maybe free agency? Here's one thing I know that I've learned. Hey, remember when the Chiefs were going to get all the free agents? Do you remember that? I mean, I had all my friends, in group chats on social media. I can't wait till we get this guy. We're going to get this guy. We're going to get that guy. And yeah, about that. Everyone thought that the Chiefs are just going to be able to say, hey, you want to come play with Patrick Mahomes? And that was going to be the thing that got people to sign. It's not looking that way. Although there are still some decent free agents out there to be had for the Chiefs. As of right now, it's not looking like that wish list they had is going from, kind of top of the line to let me see. They went from Dr. Pepper to Dr. Thunder in terms of the free agents. Now, there's not to say that those guys can't be good, that they won't be quality assets, and that they won't make a difference for the Chiefs in their pursuit for a third AFC conference title. But, when you were talking about Allen Robinson, franchise, Kenny Golladay signed with the Giants, Juju Smith-Schuster went back to Pittsburgh. That's just the wide receivers. Offensive tackle, Trent Williams, he goes back to San Francisco. They got Joe Tooney. Shout out to that to get Kyle Long, but they still need to finish filling out that offensive line. They still need to finish filling out the defensive side of the ball. They don't have another pass rusher to put on the opposite side of Frank Clark. The secondary still needs to be fortified. You only got so many draft picks, and with the team that has the window open as the Chiefs has because of Patrick Mahomes, because of that offense, you don't want to be in a rebuild mode. You want to be in a reload mode. And right now, it's to quote Ill Will in the 2-on-2 with Rum Nitty. And he's like, hold on, let me get it together. That's where they are right now. They're trying to get it together, and it is not coming together right now on the free agency front for the Chiefs. Shout out to the homie Tavita. He said, COVID cap, humble people. Finance is important for stability. And he's right. COVID squeeze, like they talked about, because the salary cap dropped, I believe it was $16 million dip in the salary cap from the previous year to this year. It has caused a lot of free agents to be kind of squeezed and not be able to sign the deals that they thought they were going to get. Like, listen, shout out to Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, I'm going to make another shout out. Shout out to Tony Kornheiser, who said the answer to all your questions is money, right? Juju Smith-Schuster went back to Pittsburgh on a 1-year deal. I think it's like $10 million or $8 million. And he talked about he loved the city of Pittsburgh. He just couldn't imagine leaving. So let me get this straight, Juju. You love the city of Pittsburgh so much that you signed a 1-year deal to stay there. You know why he did that? Because he wants to wait for that cap to blow up. They got the TV deals signed, TV contracts signed. Fans are going to be back in the stands. That salary cap is going to explode going into the following offseason. Juju Smith-Schuster gets to be a 1A, 1B pass catching prospect along with Chase Claypool. And if he gets to be that guy, like he can put up another 80, 90 catch yard season, 1,000-yard season, maybe 8+ TDs. And then when the salary cap bumps back up in 2022, now he's able to command $18 million a year. Hey, shout out to Kenny Golladay. He got his $18 million. That's what he wanted. The Giants gave him $18 million a year, which people were shocked at. But a lot of these free agents are signing 1-year, 2-year deals. The cornerback market is depressed. Wide receiver market is depressed. Some offensive linemen, obviously, like we talked about, Trent Williams got paid, Joe Tooney got paid, but most players are signing smaller deals so they can get back into free agency, so they can then get another bite at the apple, so to speak. So y'all let us know what you think, man. What do you think about free agency thus far? Who's killed it? Who hasn't? We talked about last week. Shout out to Angela Roulette, who joined us last week on the show to talk about free agency. Bill Belichick has been doing his thing in free agency, racking up lots of really good talent. The Giants have made a lot of moves. The Texans have made a lot of moves, but I don't know if those moves are going to be, kind of crazy, right? I didn't see a signing that made me go, okay, this is a team that's going to go from 4 wins to maybe 7 or 8, right? They got Tyrod Taylor, who's probably going to be their starting quarterback. And I guess while we're here, right, we'll jump into the Deshaun Watson topic, which, when this story first broke, I didn't. On this show, we only record once a week. And so there are stories that we might get into that we let play out, right? Like I don't want to be the first to talk about something. Sometimes I want to sit and marinate and think about these subjects. Sometimes I want to wait and see how the story plays out. And so when it came to Deshaun, there were a lot of thoughts, right? This was a heavy topic of discussion in multiple group chats I'm in because sports is a common thread in a lot of these group chats. And so I wanted to sit back and wait. And, I think there was some discussion about, this is just the Texans looking to smear the man because he doesn't want to play with them anymore, right? Like this, it's so funny, right, that when he decides he doesn't want to be with Carolina anymore, that he doesn't want to be with the team, that all of a sudden now allegations of women saying that he's sexually assaulted them comes out. And initially, I'll say this is my personal position, how I work these things out. When stories of assault come out, sexual assault allegations come out, I start at the position of the woman is telling the truth, because data has shown that when women come out with these allegations, overwhelmingly, they are telling the truth, and that the woman who is lying is the exception and not the rule. So I start there, right? But you have to, because we are in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty, right? You have to also go, well, what if this is a fabrication? What if this is a money grab? And this is what some of Deshaun's team and Rusty Hard, his lawyer, have alleged, that this is just a money grab, that they are trying to come after him for financial gain, right? I've even talked about, well, what if this is maybe on the lawyer's part, maybe he just wants to run a smear campaign on Deshaun, and it's not a larger plot on the Texans, but it is almost kind of like the election was stolen type vibes, right? Where you get so many people to come out, these things end up being not true, but yet his name, the damage is done, right? Like we'll always think about the 2020 election and about voter fraud and all the cases and all the court cases, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, even through all of that, even all of that machination and all that thinking and all that conspiracy stuff, I end up coming right back to my first starting point, which is, what if these women are telling the truth? And if you go and look at the amount of women who have come forward, if you say it was one woman, if it was two women, okay, man, you might be able to spin that as this is just someone who's out to get me. But now we're talking 14 who all have similar stories. Now, we'll wait for this to play out. We'll see what happens as we go forward. But as of now, this is not a good look for Deshaun. This is a terrible look for Deshaun. And I don't know what this means for his career. I don't know what this means for his ability to play next year, whether it's with the Texans or some other team. But if he is innocent, the time might be now to start coming out with some facts that, at least in the court of public opinion, which is where this is being tried right now, that get people to see this thing in a different light. Because I think it was Dan Wessel of Yahoo came out with a story of all the allegations and everything that's been alleged to this point, and it did not look good. In the comment section, shout out to Tavita. He mentions this was a case of someone who was exonerated. Sean Oakman was a star player at Baylor. He was accused, I believe, of rape. He was acquitted after a trial. Let's see what else. Been waiting for me to bring this up. Frankly, I think this is a serious problem, if true, which might be the reason he wanted out of Houston. I mean, but this is the type of thing you cannot outrun. That was my dad, by the way. This is not the kind of thing you can outrun. And here's the thing I also want to bring up about the situation. We don't know these people. Like, as much as I personally like Deshaun Watson and think that he's done a lot of good things for the communities, he has always seemed to be a stand-up guy. These type of cases let you know we don't truly know people. No matter how much we might root for them, no matter how much we might follow them on social media and follow their lives, that these people are only showing us what they want us to see. And we can't make any assumptions about the innocence of Deshaun Watson or the guilt of Deshaun Watson and vice versa for these accusers. But like I said, for me, I default on believing the women first, and let's see where we go from there and see if their allegations are true or false. And by the way, I believe the site, if you want to check on the stats on sexual assault and abuse of women, you can go to rain.org. It is 2 N's in rain, RAINN.org. Shout out to the comment section again, the homie Tavita. I'm still waiting for the facts. Wrong is wrong. The timing is horrible. My dad said I think he's done for a while. Yeah, I'm not going to bring that Dave Chappelle comment up. I'm going to leave that right there on the page, though. But shout out to you. Also, shout out to the homie A Ward. He is going to be joining us here in a few minutes. So like I said, coming up, once he joins us, we're going to get into a little bit of battle rap. We're going to talk a little bit of NCAA, see what he thinks about free agency, any of the moves. And like I said, he's going to reveal to us a couple of cool finds in his pursuit of trading card. I don't want to call it a hustle. But also, while we're at it, IamAward.com for everything A-Ward related. And IamLoso.com for everything Loso. Not IamLoso.com, everythingLoso.com for everything Loso related. Wrong is wrong at the end of the day. Yes, you are right, Tavita. I'm trying to think, what else have I learned this week? Oh, so I'm going to jump into this a little early while I vamp and wait for my co-host to join me. So the other thing I learned this week, speaking of brackets, the Big Ten frauds, all of them. All of them frauds. All right. So I watched a lot of Big Ten basketball this year. I'm like, hey, Illinois, pretty good. Michigan, pretty good. Ohio State, pretty good. Iowa, Luka Garza, pretty good. I mean, I'm looking at all these teams. I have them making pretty deep runs. I had Illinois and Ohio State. I believe I had Illinois in the title game. I had Ohio State, I believe, either making the Elite Eight or making the Final Four. Ohio State gone in the first round. Illinois, like I said, shout out to Sister Jean, but I can go without ever seeing her again. She doesn't make a shot. She doesn't coach. She doesn't do anything, but her face is always on the screen. I picked against Loyola for that simple fact that I did not want to see that woman on the screen. Again, shouts out to her. She's a sweet old lady. But Illinois out of here. Ohio State out of here. Iowa gets ran out of the gym by Oregon, I believe. Not a believer. I'm never going to believe them again. I'm never going to believe in them again. The other thing that I learned is that we should have been putting a little bit more We should have been putting a little bit more respect on the Pac-12's name.
No.
We did not put. We did. Yes, we should have been putting more respect on the Pac-12's name. We should have been staying up late and watching their basketball games. Right now, all of their teams except for one are still playing. Colorado is the only one who's went home, and even they won a game before they got sent home. Oregon State's still here. Oregon is still here. Who am I missing out of this group? USC is still here. And I think there's one more that I'm missing that's still playing. Like all of their teams are still here.
UCLA's won 3 games, right?
UCLA went from playing game to Sweet 16 and have looked pretty good in all of those games. Shouts out to myself. That's one major pick that I got right because I had granted, I thought it was Michigan State who would do this, but I had those teams making a run into the Sweet 16. So, but speaking of they're here, shout out to A Ward, who's now in the building. Joining us tonight. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Sorry for my tardiness. I apologize.
No, you good. You good. I was able to vamp and hold it down until you got here. Sometimes when I'm being with this new platform on StreamYard, it kind of leads to a little bit of production side that I do. So I'm good at multitasking.
And I'm
good at multis. So, while we're in what I learned this week is we talked about last week that we might be looking, or 2 weeks ago, that we might be looking at a paradigm shift in college basketball, that things are really starting to change out here. And things might really be changing out here. So again, I'm going to bring my favorite team into the mix, North Carolina Tar Heels. They get blown out in the first round by Wisconsin, thoroughly dominated. The first time Roy Williams has ever lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament, which is quite remarkable when you think about it.
Considering Bill Self does it just about every year.
But Walker Kessler, one of their highly touted freshmen, when you think about it, is transferring. Not Armando Bacot. Day'Ron Sharp is going to the
Come on to Tennessee, Kessler.
Oh, man. He's going to the NBA draft. I'm pretty sure Caleb Love, whose father kind of tweeted out some cryptic tweets, is going to be gone. And listen, I try to take it easy on kids because these are kids playing basketball, not for free because they are getting an education, but they're not getting paid by having something put in their bank account. It's not a good fit. So Caleb Love is going to be out. And so I don't know what the heck Carolina is going to look like next year. Who else might lead the program? But it's looking. They're saying that this pandemic year is going to open up the transfer portal like never before because you don't have to sit out a year. And so we might really see a huge paradigm shift in college basketball once the season is finally done and over with. I think that's all I've learned this week. Y'all hit us up. Let us know what you learned this week by going and following us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. Search your brains and bars and let us know what you learned this week. Ward, what are you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to this week? That's a good question. Most of everything I'm looking forward to right now is all battle rap related. That's literally my entire life right now. So what I am looking forward to this week is Double Impact, Rookies vs. Vets edition from URL. That's going to be this weekend. I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining weekend of battle rap. Something that you just seeing guys that have never paired up and been 2-on-2s before, no matter what, is going to be entertaining just to see how they perform and the chemistry that they have. So I'm definitely looking forward to Double Impact. I'm also looking forward to this weekend, Sweet 16 coming up, and hopefully a few more upsets. I just feel like I was all about Gonzaga going into this tournament, and now I'm just not. I swear I think it's going to be like UCLA versus, I don't know, some other like 8 seed or something to that. I just get the feeling that it's going to be the most random 2 teams playing in the championship game. So, but I still am looking forward to that. And what else? I still haven't got my stimulus check, so hopefully I'm looking forward to getting my stimulus check this week.
I need my stimulus check. Yeah. I need my. Yeah, I hear you.
And then back to writing. That's me. Back to writing, man. Back to writing.
All right, let's. Matter of fact, so we talked about when we're going to get into battle rap on the show. So let's go ahead and stay there real quick. Let's talk about that. So. We'll start with you first, right? So Ill Will coming up April 3rd.
Yeah.
On RBE, Max out. Shout out to ARP and the whole crew. Shout out to Cassidy and Hitman Holla. Face Off hitting hitting 1 million. Views in 3 days, which is crazy.
Crazy.
So how's the writing process going as you anticipate that battle and taking on Ill Will?
It's going all right. You know, when I first locked the battle in, I wrote like a lot of material, which was dope. Like when you get excited for a battle, you're able to like write a lot. And then you kind of hit that wall, you know, and then this last 10 days, you know, you're writing and memorizing like crazy. So, you know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling good about the event. I think we saw last week, if anybody's a battle rap fan, we saw last week that big stages and Atlanta crowds can definitely pose some issues, you know. So I'm excited to kind of fill out the crowd and just get back on the stage and see how all that works out. You know, this week ARP's been dropping all kinds of videos of everybody's predictions and everybody talking about the event, you know, and so it's been kind of dope just from my standpoint, hearing Cassidy, you know, shout me out and say that he had me beat No Red. And you know, Hitman Holla, he picked Ill Will, but he also said that, you know, that he really liked, you know, my style, that I was nice and stuff. And then Big K picked Ill Will 3-0, no debate, and said that I was trash. So, but you know, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. Had a good interview with ARP yesterday. Hopefully, it's gonna drop tonight or tomorrow. It's a pretty dope interview. Yeah, just getting ready, bro. Just getting ready. Trying to get locked in.
That's what's up. So let's I have a question about crowds and Atlanta crowds, but first I want to get into Fade 3 went down this past weekend. You know, we don't have to go battle by battle. We really want to talk about the main event. But I do want to highlight, you know, some of the good performances or just some of the battles. You know, you had Reggie versus 6'8". I had Reggie winning that 3-0. Then after that you had PC and Clone. So shout out to Clone. I will say this, right? So I have been kind of burning the candle on both ends, staying up late, getting up early, and I was super tired. My wife had cut on the Snyder cut of Justice League. I'm laying down on the couch, kind of, you know, I'm listening to the battle, got my eyes on the screen, but my eyes are getting heavy. I'm falling asleep. And then it's the end of his third, and he comes out with I already had a Mac. You out here giving me this old PC. And I went like this from the couch. Oh! Sat straight up like that was crazy.
I cannot wait for this YouTube video to drop. That is going to be my next gift right there. That's going to be the next gift I use in all of the groups, bro. That is perfect.
Oh man, so that was a crazy line from him. He had a dope performance. Flacco versus Riggs. I had Riggs winning that battle pretty clearly. Yeah, although I do want to run back that battle and watch it again because I think Flacco might have some material that didn't land in the building. I know. You've had some back and forth with Flacco.
You can't just call me out and say my battle with Riggs was light and then go get 30 by Riggs. Then 5 days later, like, bro. I mean, humble yourself, young man.
Hey. And then after that, you had the main event, right? Main event was Ace Amin and John. And so, you know, I thought it was a dope back and forth. I know you went in a little bit more of an extensive bar breakdown. I know we talked about this in the groups, and then you kind of went back and said, look, I think in the moment, you had Ace Amin winning pretty clearly.
Clear, yeah.
You went back and watched it, and did you come back to the same result?
I came back to the same winner. I didn't come back to as clear as what I necessarily had. Just sometimes you just got to factor in everything, you know, and then you have to start thinking like, man, I've judged other battles like this, and I've used this. You can't be biased, you know what I mean? And so I had the first round was the clearest round. Ace Amin won the first round clearly to me. The second round that people are giving John to Don is not close. It's not clear to me. Like it's a close round. And in that second round, Ace Amin has the 10 years and got me. Ace Amin has the there's another big haymaker that he hits. Man, I don't have my notes here, but there's literally 2 or 3 big haymakers that he hits. He goes on like another string towards the end, and it's just a close round that I edge to Ace Amin, you know. And then in the third round, John John's kind of all over the place a little bit. Ace takes an angle that is, to me, a dope angle, not really been executed against John John yet. I thought he had good material. But then Ace, like, noticeably, like, cuts his third short. However, it still was long enough. Like, it was like, I think it was still like 3.5 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So Battle Rap Stats posts all the numbers and stuff. But I'm the kind of person where your rounds got to come full circle. You know what I mean? And, like, I feel like you have to, when you start your round, you have to end your round, you know? And so that third, to me, is another debatable round, you know? And so, like, I think that's the thing to me is, like, when people say they got John John winning, like, edging the battle, I'm not mad at that because I think second and third, to me, are debatable rounds. And the first is the only clear round that, and I had Ace Amin taking the first. So,
all right. So, yeah, I got Ace. The first is the clearest round of the battle. I had Ace taking the first. I know we have disagreed on this. I have John in the second. I do think, you know, the line about I went from go get it to I got it. Like he had a couple of.
Love that line. I don't know if the second round was when he did I got hit with a strapped in, I got hit with a translation, I mean something different.
That was the third.
Okay. Yeah, that was the other line. That was the other line that I liked a lot from John John.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell you this, I think the second is close. So when I watched it back when it dropped on YouTube on the Bullpen channel that morning, and I still had John Edge in the second, but I could be convinced maybe on the third watch ago, maybe Ace got that second. I thought Ace got the third, even though I understand the ending wasn't as clear or as it didn't end on a high note, right? He just cut the round short. I guess for me, I know a lot of people talked about, well, the domestic violence angle went a little bit long. I think that might be because people are uncomfortable about the subject matter.
Yeah.
His whole first round is about the incident.
Yeah, like, the thing about it though is like in the big stages when you're trying to angle for a whole round, you know, like even if they are cool with the subject matter at first, like angles like for a whole round on a big stage they're tough to execute, you know. You have to really be punching hard, you know. And I thought Ace was, you know, like how's she gonna be a leader when she got to follow a restraining order, like, you know, like all of these, you know, the shelter bar, all of these things are just crazy. I think that, you know, Ace is my guy, but one thing he has to realize is he has to figure out how to build up to these heavy punches a little bit better than the way he raps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, so I made a tweet, and this is why I had Ace Amin, and I think this is what it comes down to. Ace Amin had more filler than John did. Don. When I say filler, I just mean like rapping, like he's rapping in context to build up things or whatever, but it's kind of like just rapping to be. John had more bad bars, bad writing than Ace Amin, you know? So whereas if I'm punch counting and I'm saying the second round, Ace has 10 dope punches and John has 12 dope punches, I'm not counting against Ace heavily for filler, and I am counting against John for the 4 terrible lines that I had to hear in between those 12. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of how I looked at, you know, a couple of those close rounds.
All right. So now I want to get to the question that I had about the crowd, right? Because listen, I've been to an Atlanta event, Atlanta versus Everybody, where you took on Carter Deems. To me, Atlanta crowds can be chatty. Now, every battle rap crowd, if there's a large event, to a certain extent, there's going to be a crowd disruption because for some reason people pay their money to go to battle rap events and talk.
Wait, hold on. Did you go to Danny Myers?
I did not go to Danny Myers. I was thinking about that earlier because something always, like with the big matches, something always comes up when the ones that I really want to go to, something happens and I can't go. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, something came up and I couldn't go to that event.
Yeah.
I think I had a funeral. I think I ended up going out of town when you got it.
Gotcha.
So I've been, but I'll bring that up. I felt like Atlanta crowds have been really, really chatty at that Genesis event. Mm-hmm. At the Get Back that same day, they were really chatty. I felt like Atlanta versus Everybody, you had certain people. There wasn't everybody as a whole. But Resolution, when URL went down there for Resolution, which is I think is Goods and Cassidy might have been the main event for that one. They were really chatty. And for that's 4 battles. So that's 4 where they just been really talkative. So I want to ask you, knowing that one, Cass is is the main event, which means he's going to bring a legion of his fans will be in the building. It's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a large room event. Does this watching what happened at Fade, does that impact how you prepare for this battle against Ill Will at all?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, and I hate to say that I'm like changing anything up heavily, but just how you structure your rounds, like I said, if I have angles, then I might have had 2 angles and I was going to make that my third round where it's, 24 bars and 24 bars. Now I might go and say, you know what, I might only angle, 8 to 16 here, get back to punching, get back, so I don't, so yeah, you got to think about all that kind of stuff, and there's bars, man, that I thought of that I'm like, yo, this is gonna hit on stage. Like I probably would never say this in like a small, room setting or whatever. So yeah, it definitely does. Man, it poses a situation with me and Ill Will where Ill Will is so simple and charismatic and captivating on a big stage, Like, I don't think the Atlanta crowd is going to affect him and his material nearly as much as it will me and my material, And so I think I probably have to go back to the drawing board, be more mindful, about that type of stuff than he will have to be. So.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Anything else battle rap you want to hit before we jump into sports?
Impact. Nah, we don't got to talk about Double Impact really. Nah, I'm good. I'm just sharing our stuff on Instagram so people will tune in.
So let me ask you this. As it relates to double impact 4 with this rookies and vet setting, who are you? Or we'll ask this and we'll move on to sports. Like, which group are you most interested in seeing?
Definitely B-Dot and
Sick.
Real Sick, yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. B-Dot and Real Sick to me are the 2 that I'm super excited to see.
All right, I'm trying to think. Will I? Let me look. Let me look and see here. Top and Twerk, T-Top and Twerk.
Oh, my bad. I was thinking rookies vets type stuff. Obviously, that the main event to me is going to be like, probably the one battle that I'm going to be glued to the TV. But
actually, yeah, I lied. Tay Rock and Easy. Listen, I have been on record, maybe not on the podcast, but I've been on record in group chats as saying Tay Rock or Easy is the new generation Tay Rock. Like he is Tay Rock 2.0. He's going to be the people's champ. Like if I don't know. Granted, battle rap, battle rappers have a battle rap lifespan, so they never really go away. But I think Easy is on his way of being the new face of URL. He's everywhere. He's always promoing. Mm-hmm. And I think crowds, relate's not the word that I want to use, but I feel like crowds find him and he's able to engage a crowd, I think, or at least some of these smaller rooms, right? We haven't seen him on a big stage. And I don't know if he'll be on a big stage yet, but I just think he has that potential to be the new Tay Rock, to do it in his own way. So that's the group I want to see together. Yeah,
I ain't mad at that. That's what I think is most exciting about this event. Like, they say like 2-on-2s are the all-star game. Well, this is a weird version of the all-star game. You know what I mean? It's definitely very different. So if it was just kind of the same old 2-on-2s battling, I'd kind of be like, I've seen it before. I wouldn't be as excited. But I think, why I'm super excited is because of the different matchups. So.
All right, that's what's up. So y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Hit us up by going to Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Brains and Bars. Let us know what y'all think about Double Impact 4. What groups are you looking forward to seeing this weekend? Give us your thoughts on Fade 3. Who you got winning, Ace Amin or John the Don? I feel like the consensus is there is no consensus. I think people have it as a debatable. I think early on most people had John winning, but I think people who have had the ability to go back and watch it are kind of coming to a different conclusion. Just let us know what y'all think about battle rap, man. Let's jump into the tournament. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but let's jump into the tournament. First of all, I want to say shout out to everyone who joined our bracket challenge. There's $150 on the line to the winner. And right now, friend of the show, the homie Jesse Abbey, is in first place.
He's probably got Michigan winning it all, don't he?
He does have Michigan winning the entire thing. And right now, I'm going to toot my own horn. Toot. Your boy is in 4th place. I'm tied for 4th. I think last time I checked, you were in like 38th place.
Well, just so we know. Dang, that's trash. Oh my gosh. Oh,
are you looking at it right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, there is a guy who poses a threat to Jesse because I think he has Baylor winning, and I feel like their brackets are about the same. And if Michigan, I think he has Michigan in the Final Four, but if basically comes down to if Baylor wins the whole thing, that gentleman wins the bracket challenge. If Michigan wins the whole thing, Jesse will win the bracket challenge. So
how many are total? How many is in here total? 60?
I think it's close to that. I do think it's close to 60 people in the group.
Okay, so I'm not in last, but geez.
I'm not going to call out the person who's in last, but shout out to you. We appreciate you being a part of the group.
You know what I do want to say, though? I will say this, and I will go on record because I'm going to show you my phone, right?
All right.
Now, point system's the same in all groups, right? Okay, so it's not like it's fantasy football where you can just show it, right? My date. Now, how many points does Jesse have?
Jesse right now has 420.
420?
420.
Okay. Die Daily group. Oh, hold on. Let's see if we can get this.
Oh, yeah, it's going to show up.
Okay. 460. I'm in 1st place. 460, bro. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of a lot of points.
That is. I mean, that's almost. You have to have at least 14 of 16 in the somewhere anywhere between 13 and 14 of the Sweet 16 teams to have that high a score.
Yep, I'm pretty much. Let's see, Sweet 16. I missed on Iowa, Ohio State, and Tennessee.
Yep, 13.
So I had Syracuse, Houston. I had Loyola. Yeah, Tennessee. I had Arkansas, Ohio State, Baylor, Villanova, UCLA, Alabama, Michigan, Florida State, USC, Iowa, Gonzaga, Creighton. Dang. I wish I'd have put that one in ours. Jeez. I should have just kept the same one for all of them.
So let's talk about the tournament. I mean, right now, to me, Gonzaga is still the they're still the overwhelming favorite to win the whole thing. Like we talked about in the past, like they're a really solid team. They're a really good team, and I just don't know. They got Creighton in the next round. They might be on pace to do what I think I saw a stat. Indiana was the last team North Carolina. I feel like North Carolina beat every team by double digits on the way to the title. So it's either North Carolina or Indiana back when Isaiah Thomas won, that won every game by at least a double digit margin on their way to the title. And I feel like looking at their bracket, until they get to the Final Four, I feel like that could be their thing. They got USC and Oregon on the other side of the bracket. They got Creighton this weekend. And I just don't think Creighton has enough to keep up with them. I'll say this overall about the tournament, though. Like, it's crazy. They talked about this is the first time since 79 since Duke, Kentucky, and Carolina has not been in the Sweet 16. And I felt like, again, we keep talking about paradigm shifts. Like, at the start of this tournament, you had, in terms of traditional powers, and I feel like you could count Gonzaga as a traditional power now. You had KU, you had UCLA / Michigan State, you got Gonzaga, and I guess if you want to count Villanova as a traditional, like this was, I guess Syracuse too. Like
North Carolina. You said North Carolina?
You can count them. I knew they weren't going to win, but yes, So they're, but normally you have 10, 12, 14, 16 kind of like new era powers or historical powers. And this year there weren't that. And I think you see that reflected in this Sweet 16 that has Oral Roberts in it, that has Loyola Chicago in it, Oregon State in it. Houston, with shot to Kelvin Sampson. If there's two things Kelvin Sampson can do, it's coach and get recruiting violations. Like if nothing else, he can do those two things. And right now he's coaching a really good team. So what's your thoughts on the tournament thus far as we sit at the Sweet 16?
I've watched most of the games. I thought that there have been some very, very good, good games. There hasn't been very many buzzer beater type, like just that, one shining moment, type games. But definitely some very good games. Like you said, there's just been some teams that I've noticed that I'm like, yo, this this team is for real. You know what I mean? And granted, like I watched Alabama, this year, and they beat Tennessee in the regular season, and they beat us in we were up 15 on them in the SEC tournament. But like, bro, Alabama is nice. Like they are nice. Like don't sleep on that team right there. And so I think that it's a great, like you said, whereas the paradigm shift, I think that other teams know that. Like other teams like Gonzaga, like Houston, like Loyola, like some of these teams, they know this is the year, like this is the year we don't have to see Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, Tom Izzo, we don't have to see them when we get to the Elite Eight. We're going to get to the Elite Eight and we're going to get Oregon or USC or, you know what I mean? And that was always what it was for these small conference teams. And then the teams that are like the Oregon States and stuff was like, yeah, we can win a couple. But then when the rubber meets the road, we're going to end up running into, So imagine like if South Carolina's team from a few years ago was able to kind of go through, like they didn't win a national championship, like that's just, and so, so it's kind of cool to see. But there is something just about, knowing that you got Duke and Kentucky, or you got, Villanova and different teams, like which Villanova's still in it and very well could be. But like, it's just something about March that school pride and all that kind of stuff, that it's kind of missing. So just imagine like how crazy would it be next year if all of a sudden in like the college football playoff, like it was literally like,
North Carolina State,
Minnesota, NC State.
Arizona, like
right.
And that's what you're looking at here. And that again, I don't know. I feel like we're in the midst of seeing a shift in college basketball. So I want to address something that you tweeted.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it. Are we gonna talk about it?
Bill Self? Yeah, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
You've been full of hot takes here lately. So
hot takes.
You said that KU should move on from Bill Self.
I did. I said that if they want to. So here's the thing, in context. I want to make sure it's in context, right?
All right, yep.
As a North Carolina fan, you have expectations for North Carolina basketball. Now, you're a pessimist, though. So you're a pessimist, right? So you personally might not have the expectations that normal North Carolina fans have, right? But as a North Carolina fan, we are North Carolina. Tar Heels, Baby Blue. We get the recruits. We're supposed to be competing year in and year out for an ACC championship and a national championship, right? So the thing about Bill Self is this. He's literally Peyton Manning. He's Peyton Manning of coaching, right? He's like the regular season, probably best coach in NCAA basketball history. And I think if there was no such thing as rings, Peyton Manning to me would probably be regular season the best quarterback of all time ever. 5 MVPs, all kinds of crazy. So the thing about Bill Self is 18 years, we're going to go into Kanye now, 18 years, but 18 years, you've got, 2 title appearances. Now, mind you, somebody said, well, how often do some of these teams really make, more often than Bill Self? Like they make Final Fours. They make, more often than Bill Self. And then you have I think I counted 15 of the years his losses have been to seeds that are lower than him.
Yeah.
And then like a good like 10 of the years have been seeds that are at least 3 seeds lower than him, and it's just big game coaching, right? Like to me, big game coaching, he's just not a good big game coach. Even the year they won the national championship, his coaching did not really necessarily. Derrick Rose missing free throws, and Chalmers hitting a big shot. Like that's what got him. So like I've just kind of said, like if you're a Kansas fan, at what point are you like, you know what, we're just making the tournament every year. Like nobody's like really worried about KU anymore, per se. Like, they're not like looking at KU like, I just don't. I think that, like some of the Bradleys and Northern Iowas and Oregons and, USCs and all of these teams that are coming in here and just thumping them in the second round, third round, or whatever, is taking some of the sting out of like, yeah, all right, they won the Big 12 tournament, but, like, then what? And so, like, that's just kind of where I'm at. Like, obviously, Bill Self's going to get you to the tournament every year. He's probably going to get you a top 4 seed every year. I'm not mad at you being happy with that, but, like, I just don't have much faith in him, really putting, his team in a position to win national championships consistently.
Yeah, so, KU fans always like to tell you. Now, granted, the streak has been snapped, right? But they had won like 13 Big 12 titles in a row. He's won 15 of those. He's made 3 Final Fours. He's won 1. Listen, don't get me started. I always like to say Roy gets the rap of, well, he gets all his talent, he should win. But Roy, I think, has been since 2003, since Self arrived in KU, and he went to North Carolina, I want to say he's been to 5 Final Fours and has won 4 of them. Like, I've always talked about the fact that Roy's resume stacked up to Coach K's once he got to Carolina. They're pretty even. Coach K has the bigger, obviously he's the face when you talk about college coaches. He's kind of the face of that, but his resume is equal, if not better, than K's in the same time frame.
Like Michigan's been to like multiple Final Fours in the last, maybe 6 or 7 years, and probably going to be in another one this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Villanova has won multiple national championships, been in more than 2, Final Four. And I'm talking like I get it. He went to the national championship in 2008. He won the national championship in 2008. I am a Tennessee fan. Talk about living in the past. I'm the epitome of living in the past, right? Like I argued until finally I did realize it had been 20 years since we won a national championship. And I was like, all right, Aaron, like it's been 20 years now. You know what I mean? So like I know what it's like, but like that 2008 team, and then the 2011 team that lost to Kentucky or whatever, like that's a decade ago. Like if we're looking at the last decade of basketball, what have they accomplished outside of them saying, well, last year we were going to be the best team in the nation, but COVID happened,
Yeah. And I mean, even that was up for debate because Gonzaga was still really good. They brought back much of the same team that they had last year. Dayton had a really good team. They were going to be a 1 seed in the tournament. So, I mean, granted, KU had a case. You had to play that out. By the way, Roy has been to 6 Final Fours and he's won 3 national championships since he arrived at Carolina.
And another thing, right? This is the other thing. Let's not sit here and act like Bill Self is a squeaky clean, I mean, granted, I don't know what it goes on in NCAA. I don't get started on this, but the way that they handle rule violations in college basketball baffles me to this day. Like, I just don't get it. Like, Bruce Pearl got a show cause for freaking lying about taking a picture with a recruit. Will Wade and Jarvis Smart from LSU committed every possible everything, and he's coaching him in the game yesterday.
Well, I think Will Wade. I think they're going to get him. I think out of that whole shoe scandal, I think Will Wade's going to be the one because they actually have him on the phone. Granted, it's not truly incriminating, right? He's just saying I think he says we'll pay whatever we need to, or we'll do whatever we need to make it happen. But I'm not sure that's a smoking gun. But he is the one who is the closest to receiving some sort of sanctions.
Right.
Look, I'm a Carolina fan. Shout out to the NCAA because
you guys were making up classes. I don't understand the rules. I don't get it.
I mean, so in their defense, the thing is that the ruling was that everyone benefited from the class, not just student athletes, because it was the entire university was taking this fake class. So that was kind of like the loophole. Which shout out to loopholes. That was a loophole they used to get out of getting harsh sanctions. So, it is what it is. But I think the NCAA, when you look at how they handled the women's training areas this week, the disparity in their not only the training but the food, right? I think shout out to the homie Los. I think he said they were offering like Hungry Man dinners to the women, while the guys, they're eating steak and grilled chicken. and they just got something like they popped in the microwave and said, here you go. So the fact that Mark Emmert does not come out himself and say, hey, listen, I work in management, right? And if every time something went wrong, I went and called up one of my second in command to say, hey, go out and talk to this disgruntled employee, like I wouldn't be long for my job. And so the NCAA, they just can't get things right. They can't get things right. But look,
so yeah, that's my thoughts. And my thoughts is just like, man, he don't coach and win big games. He's at a perennial powerhouse. I don't think they consider Kansas a blue blood. I don't know if they do or not.
They do. They got the history. Okay.
He's at a perennial powerhouse of what you would consider to be the top 8, probably programs in college basketball history, maybe even top 5. I don't know, but probably top 8. And I said somebody said, well, Calipari should be on the hot seat too. Like if I'm a Kentucky fan, you know what I mean? Like that's just Calipari. He's already said his goal is to get his kids to the NBA. You know what I mean? Like that's what. So if you're a Kentucky fan that says, you know what, I just want to see these kids that don't live in Kentucky come to Kentucky for a year and then go make millions of dollars, that's just not the kind of college football fan I am, or college sports fan I am. You know what I mean? And so yeah, Calipari is the same way. Like if you're not getting it done in these big schools or whatever, like I don't know, bro. People, I just think
I think Calipari, if he has another year, if they aren't a top 4 seed next year, I do think he's not fired. He's not going to be fired, but I do think he's going to be in the hot seat. So he is a guy who's got to turn it around going into next year if he wants to continue to keep his job. And granted, if he gets fired, like it's not like there's not going to be a list of schools that are going to open up their doors for him.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But, listen, your guy, Rick Barnes, I think Rick Barnes is a guy who might be in a little bit of trouble if he doesn't start.
That's a weird thing. I think so, too. But, I feel like Tennessee's expectations are so much lower because we're still so delusional and we're a football school. Like, literally, that's how Tennessee acts. We're a football school. You know what I mean? So making the tournament, being competitive all year, having a top 7 seed or whatever, I think Tennessee fans are just kind of cool with that. You know what I mean? The thing that's hurting Rick Barnes is that he's recruiting so incredibly well. His expectations are going up because he's bringing in all of these 5-star one and done guys. And then now it's like, but yeah, Rick Barnes he's built himself on steroids when it comes to doing little with, a lot for his whole career. But yeah, he definitely is in the same boat, but Tennessee's just such a clustered mess right now that I think Rick Barnes, somewhat being an upstanding human being and a person that everybody loves, I think he's pretty safe, barring any kind of craziness.
All right, so we got we don't have too much time left in the show. I believe it should have gone live. It should have gone live about 10 minutes ago. If you want to come on the show, there should be a link that I posted to the @Brains and Bars site and on the Facebook fan page. If you click that link, you'll be able to come in. If you got a topic you want to talk to us about, whether it be sports or battle rap, you can do so. I'm going to try to make sure that we promote this a little bit more as we go forward. But this is your chance, your opportunity to be on the show with us. And actually, I am sending out a note to my personal Facebook page right now.
Yo, I'm going to show you some football cards.
Yo, so actually, yes. So let's do that. I don't know what we're going to call this segment. For right now, I might call it, I don't know. I don't understand the lingo of this trading card industry, but from what I've been following is they call them breaks. Like, I'm guessing it's like I don't know if it's like a break open a box or what. I don't understand where the word break, but it's a very used term. So it might be something like, it might be something like pull my card, or something like that, or brains and breaks, or brains, bars, and breaks, or something. I don't know. But anyway, I don't have a fresh pack though, but I did want to show you some stuff that I grabbed yesterday actually. So I go to CVS because you're on mute. Oh, you talking to somebody else? Yeah, I was telling yeah.
And you might not know any of these people, which is fine.
All right.
I go to CVS yesterday, and one of my buddies was like, "Hey, they sell these 2020 Absolute football packs at CVS." So I was like, "All right, let me go check CVS." They didn't have them, but they had like a a pack of a prepackaged box, and it was like you get 2 packs of cards and a card or something like that, for like $4.99. But you couldn't tell what kind of pack was in the box. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I was like, all right, $4.99. Let me just buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I pull open 2015 pack of cards. The next pack of cards is all Notre Dame cards.
Johnny Lou Jack, who was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Right. So we got Texas Notre Dame 1970 Cotton Bowl.
I wonder, is that the year that Nixon declares Texas the national champion? I believe Texas wins that game and they declare them the national champion.
Tim Huffman, you heard that name?
No, got nothing for you.
I think so. This is 86. Notre Dame beats USC by a point.
Okay, so I'm 2 years away. No, 3 years away from being a Notre Dame fan. So I'm 4 years old at that point. So they're not in my consciousness.
So obviously Lou Holtz is coaching, but it has like a whole what happened in the game. Bud Bowringer, you ever heard that name?
No.
Like most of these people, bro, they look old, man. I just Frank Ridz, whatever.
I'm going to assume based on that picture, he might be part of the Four Horsemen, right? I think there was
he was the center in 1915 to 1917.
Yeah, so maybe not Four Horsemen. No, sorry.
Here's the 46 national champions.
All right.
Joe Moore. This guy looks like
Joe Moore. He was a coach there. The Joe Moore Award is awarded to the best offensive line in college football. That's who that award is named after.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Fred Miller. You remember that name?
Got nothing. Yep. You talking about leather chin straps, leather helmet? No, not at all.
Gary Darnell.
Oh, I should know the name, but it's not coming to me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Peter Voss.
Nah, I got nothing. These guys could be like assistant coaches for all.
This is a 42 national championship. I forgot Notre Dame used to be good too. Terry Hanratty?
Yes. So, oh gosh, is that 70, 60, 70s?
66 to 68. Quarterback. Yeah. Yeah, this is around the same time. Tom Regner.
Nope, got nothing for you.
Pete Holohan.
I was like, are we talking about Holohan from Battle Rap?
Here we go. Maybe this Greg Bell.
What year? Does it have a
80
year?
to 83.
Yeah, still a little bit. I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, Bob Crabble.
Nope.
Mike Kaddish. No.
Nope.
79 Cotton Bowl. Jim Seymour. No.
Nope.
1930 national championship. 71 Cotton Bowl.
I mean, where's Joe Montana? Where's Rocket?
I know, right? I was like, but check this out. This guy definitely is the only black person in the whole deck. I don't know. Jay Hayes.
Let me see if I can find out who that is. I have no. That is probably before my time.
He's the outside linebacker coach of 1990.
So yeah, I mean, at this point, right? Like, I'm not up on. Wow, and I look up Jay Hayes. It pulls up Jay Hayes, who actually played for them back in the 2017 year.
That's funny. I guess the other thing was, and I'll go through these fast, is in the other, I bought 2 boxes of them. The other box actually had more current players, but it was a Georgia Tech box. It had a Georgia Tech pack in it.
Okay.
And so I actually didn't know some of these guys played for Georgia Tech. Let's see. I thought I had them in here. Maybe they're downstairs. But anyway, yeah. So I didn't know Darren Waller. I didn't know Darren Waller was at Georgia Tech.
I did not know he played for Georgia Tech.
Yeah. And then I got Demarius Thomas. I got Derek Favors. I got a handful of Georgia Tech guys that are known. But so here's 3 cards that I got today that are pretty good, or 4 cards, right? So I got this Julius Irving. Oh man, this whole green screen's making it difficult.
Yep. But I can see it's holographic.
Yep. Now I got this golden holographic Robert Covington, right? But on the back, it is a numbered card, so there's only 10 of these made. So this is number 8 out of 10.
Of all the cards to pull, you pull a.
Why couldn't I get like Zion or something? I had to get Robert Covington. You
got to get the Luka. So you can be like.
And then I pull another one of a Jimmy Butler, which isn't as bad. It's not bad. There's only 25 of these, so it's number 5 of 25. And then I got another Herbert rookie today. which I'm up to.
He wins the Super Bowl, man. Those Herbert cards might end up being worth some money.
I know, right? So yeah, man, just I've been learning a lot about it too. Trying to figure out. It's like the stock market right now, man. Some people are just buying these joints and then turning around and selling them like crazy. Like Tyler Hero rookies and all kinds of different stuff is like, oh, he might suck next year. He might have had just a sophomore, season or a one hit one. And so you can get $400, $500, $600 for these cards, and then in a couple of years it might be, a lot less. So I don't know. I'm still collecting for the hobby. I haven't sold any cards yet. I got a whole bunch of doubles until I offered them to a friend or whatever. But yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at with it. But it's been fun.
Cool. That is pull your card with A Ward. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So anything that caught your eye free agency wise?
Kenny Galladay getting a lot of money to go to the Giants.
Man, listen. Like, shout out to Kenny Galladay. He got 4 years, $72 million. I forget how much is guaranteed, but it's an average salary of $18 million a year. And shout out to him because nobody's really getting paid like that. I talked about that after we had Danny Thompson on, and I was kind of vamping until you got here of how nobody was like this year. Free agents got squeezed. Nobody really got paid. Kenny Galladay is one of them. Joe Tooney's one of them. Trent Williams is one of them. And that's basically it in terms of big market deals. Everyone else has kind of gotten 3 years, 30, 40 million. But I talked about Juju Smith-Schuster signing with Pittsburgh, saying he loved Pittsburgh so much that he re-signed for 1 year. He loved the city that much and that he wouldn't go back, that he couldn't leave, that he just had to come back for one more year. And when he's going to get his break, he's going to get his stats next year. He's going to make that $18 million. And then whether it's Pittsburgh or maybe Kansas City or some other place, maybe they get it to him. I also brought up, remember that time Kansas City was going to sign all the free agents? Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that when everybody was going to be so hyped, they were going to take a pay cut to come to Kansas City. They want to play with Mahomes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So my dad said it won't help the Giants. They still need to address the offensive line, and their quarterback stinks. So that's how that part too. They got a lot of. I know you're still on the Danny Dimes hype train. The guy fumbles too much. He's too mistake prone. He'll show you flashes, but he's mediocre. That's all I got to say about that.
No, I'm definitely with him being mediocre. I'm not ready to bench him or move on from him yet.
This is make or break year, though.
I do think that. I do think this is a make, and I don't think he has to go crazy and do some kind of crazy. I just think that he has to be much better, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So so on the Giants, they have Darius Slayton, they got Evan Ingram, they've got Galladay now.
Barkley coming back.
So, I mean, he had granted, the offensive line does need to get better, and I'm assuming Dave Gettleman is going to address that in the draft since he didn't do it in free agency. But if that line gets better and Danny does not get better, I think this is the make or break year for him. If he doesn't make it happen, it won't happen. I'm trying to think anything other. Bill Belichick signing everybody in the world,
all of them. Cam Newton.
Shout out to him. I'm trying to think anything else in free agency interesting that we need to hit. No, I talked about Deshaun Watson, which is a sticky subject, but got into that.
I'm not ready to talk about that yet. I don't know. It's a weird situation. What about LeBron's ankle?
Bro, let me look at the standings real quick. Like
they lost Lakers, 3 of the last 4, I think.
The Lakers, I don't think they're going to fall into play-in territory because I think LeBron's not going to be gone that long.
No.
But I mean, they might fall out of that 5. They might have to be not have home court advantage in any of their series though. I do think they're in danger of that. And so let me see. Western Conference.
Curry's injured too still.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to have to play their way into the playoffs. They're a 9 seed right now at 500. The Lakers are a game and a half up on the Nuggets for the 4th spot. And the Nuggets are 8-2 in their last 10. The Lakers are 5-5 in their last 10.
And they got Lakers got Philly tomorrow.
That's a L.
That's an L.
That's an L. Even without Embiid, that's an L. When Kyle Kuzma is like, "Hey, look at me.
Yeah.
Like when that's your guy, I don't know. Also, who else got injured that was very damaging? Not Embiid. Somebody just got hurt. Who was it?
LaMelo.
Oh yeah. Duh. We just had Danny Thompson to talk about that very thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. I was hoping that they were going to be a really cool story and somebody that we were going to to me that I had interest in and rooting for. And while I still will watch them, I don't know. My dad said, "You think the Mavericks have a chance this year?" No, in a word, no. I think they started too slow. They losing Seth Curry was not good for them. They needed him for the shooting, and I just don't think Kristaps Porzingis was not what they thought they were going to get. Like he's not a great number 2 for them, and I just don't see them making it far. Shout out to Brendan. He got married recently, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations,
my guy Brendan Dog, man. Congratulations, and also he always keeps me honest with the Bill Self hate. So I appreciate him always. You know, he stands up for his squad, man, and that's a beautiful thing. So shout out to my guy Brendan.
All right, you know what? I think that might be the show. Unless there's anything else sports wise that you want to jump into.
No, outside of that, man, I think that's pretty much it. I'm not looking forward to the women's basketball tournament, and it has nothing to do. I know, but even then, like, there wasn't a single upset day one, right? So every high seed won day one, and I think there was 2 in day 2 or something like that. Like, the teams that are good win. The teams that, you know what I mean, like it's.
Although I mean, granted, I know that Connecticut is still Connecticut. There is a chance that they might.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, when you get down to the last 4. You know, your NC State, your Texas A&M, South Carolina, Connecticut, it's them. But it's them or nothing. You know what I mean? Like all these other teams that are playing on their way there, like I just, you know, like it's just not the same. So
yo, BD Gamble 7, yes, shout out to the Knicks. The Knicks right now are a 7 seed, so they're still in that play-in territory, but they are right there with the Hornets and the Heat. They're all top. That basically
they're a half game out of 4th.
Right. They're half game out of 4. So that 4 through 8 spot is really congested right now in the East. So the Knicks could play their way into, you know, a quote unquote bye for the first round. If things go the way. Shout out to Danny Thompson. He mentioned them. Tom Thibodeau has them playing really well. Defensively, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league.
And Randall's being very, very good.
Randall is balling. Like, he's balling. So shout out to your Knicks. They actually are going to they have a good chance of making the playoffs this year. And so shout out to that. I just want to hit one last thing before we go.
That's good.
You know, the Streets, Joe Budden's podcast, you know, there's been a little bit of controversy as Rory and Mal have been missing from their podcast. And so, you know, that podcast is not the only one that has had someone missing that, you know, Streets have been talking and they've been saying, yo, where Loso at? Where Loso at? Now, you know, I said he's on vacation, and he did go on vacation. He went to Columbia after the battle with Vixen, and he went and kicked it. But, you know, sometimes there's just too many Carloses on the show, you know, and there's just been some friction between the Carloses, and, you know, he is branching out and doing his own thing. He is starting his own show on Caffeine.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah. I didn't understand the leap until I realized he jumped from this podcast to do his own thing. That's wild.
Bars. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time, I believe it's Eastern time, Loso, the leap, his foray into the streaming. I don't know if he'll actually put this on a podcast channel after that, but he's going to be doing his own thing. He's going to be talking about his battle versus Vixen and some other things related to himself. So tomorrow, please tune in, support the homie Loso. For real, I mean, Loso has always kind of been, you know, we talk about Black, white, and Hispanic thing, but he's just kind of been a frequent guest host on the show. And so we wish him the best as he does his thing. And if he has time for us, if he, you know, can find it within his heart to make time for us and come back to the show, he'll always be welcome back with open arms. But please support him. Once again, we thank you everyone for tuning into the show tonight. We appreciate it. It's been fun. The podcast will be available tomorrow. So please remember to go to Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify, search Brands and Bars, rate, review, and subscribe. Same thing for YouTube. Rate, review, and subscribe. Yo, for the people in the comments, when you come in next week, Here's the rules. Come in, say what's up, say what you where you're from, what you're representing. And then, also, again, I want to push that there are going to be links that will come out about halfway into the show. If you want to join the show, come on, talk sports, talk battle rap with us. You can't sit in for the rest of the show, but you can come in for a few minutes. Come holler at us. We appreciate it all. Until next time, it's been a Black
and White
Thing. We will holler at y'all next week. Be easy.
Deuces.